What about you? Yes, I think that can be easily arranged.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new, welcome. Today we are watching The Trouble with Harry 1955, and this is another Hitchcock film. Um, and given what I know about Hitchcock and the type of films he likes to make, it's probably going to be about murder, uh, and suspense and all the stuff that goes with that. Honestly, that's kind of his MO now. Is just if you want murder and you want a thriller, go watch a Hitchcock film. Um, which I am in the mood for. So, this one might be a little bit interesting. I have no idea what I'm in for because he seems to find new ways to actually come up with murders and how he wants to present it to us and just new ways of telling a story from a different perspective about a murder. Kind of noticed that with him is it's just one murder after next. To be honest with you, it's kind of interesting to me that he keeps coming up with these ideas of um how to I don't want to say murder people, but come up with these ideas on exactly how to tell um these different murders that he keeps coming up with. So I'm kind of interested to see what all is in this one as far as that goes and exactly the circumstances behind this one in particular. Like I said, I'm eager to jump into this one, so let's just do that. Let's just jump into The Trouble with Harry, 1955. Good old Universal. Paramount. Vista Vision. Motion Pictures. The Trouble with Harry. Kind of like the kid's drawing a little bit. If that is a kid's drawing, kind of looks like it would be a kid's drawing for having it in the background and the credits kind of roll through. Well, that's interesting. So I wonder if that might be Harry or that might be somebody else entirely. But all the animals are looking at him, so it's just gonna be like a Cinderella type thing where the animals are gonna try and communicate something. Just an idea from the drawings and stuff. I seriously doubt it though. Three shots.
Okay, I know how to handle your type.
I didn't get a good look at that. Is that the left temple?
If we haven't rung up at least 2 rabbits, we deserve to go home empty-handed.
The shot to the temple, I like that shot, and then the feet thing as well.
And hunting satisfies his primitive nature.
I'm getting the sense it's autumn time, just by how colorful and vibrant everything seems to be.
If this can had 4 legs and a tail, we'd be eating it tonight. Clean through the heart.
For some reason, I really like that line. It just kind of made me smile a little bit when he said that.
For a rice cake, I've done him in.
For a rice cake?
Shot at a rabbit, and I'm a murderer. A killer. Mother always said I'd come to a bad end. I can't say that I've seen you around here before. No. If you're going to get yourself shot, do it where you're known.
You're gonna get yourself to do it where you're known?
Mr. Harry Warp, 87 Maple Avenue, Boston, Massachusetts.
Captain Wilde.
Yeah, that's a bad look for you.
It's what you might call an unavoidable accident. He's dead.
That it is.
Doesn't live around here.
Well, he died around here. That's what counts now.
He's kind of got a point there.
Forget you saw me, Miss Gray. He was poking around the clearing, and I thought he was a rabbit or something. It was a human error.
Oh, he thought he shot him.
Do as you think best, Captain.
I didn't connect those two pieces together. I don't think he actually shot him, though.
And if I were going to hide an accident, I shouldn't delay.
You're right as rain, Miss Gravely. I feel better for telling somebody as warm, tender, understanding as yourself.
On the contrary, Captain.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Perhaps you would care to come over for some blueberry muffins and coffee later on.
This is certainly something of an interesting surprise.
Yeah, I would say so.
After all, we've been neighbors for nearly 3 years now. And we've never exchanged social calls.
You're right. It's high time I paid a call.
Okay, that makes more sense. Sort of.
There, Mommy. Here he is, Mommy. Here he is. What did I tell you, Mommy?
Touch it, Arnie.
Why didn't she bring somebody else with him? It's not like she can do anything, I don't think.
Thank Providence, the last of Harry. Don't you know who it is?
You said Harry. Why don't he get up and do something?
A deep, wonderful sleep.
How did he hurt his head?
Putting it where it wasn't wanted would be my guess.
Yeah.
Lemonade put me in a wonderful, deep, deep sleep, Mommy.
No, Arnie, but it's better than no lemonade.
Something's very off about these folks. I'm a little bit concerned.
She won't care what I do with him.
This has me very, very concerned. People seem to be like on some type of drug or something because the reactions are not what I would consider to be normal, except for the neighbor and the kid, rather. Too lost in his book.
Might as well sit here till the rest of the world comes by to pay their last respects.
Although he does have colorful socks, I'll give him that. Don't do anything, just stay there. Oh, I thought he was gonna steal his socks for half a second. Instead of just the shoes.
Yes, indeed, is waiting for me there. Flagging the train to
Never heard of this song, well, song, shanty, whatever you want to call it. Kind of reminds me of Very Well with Too Many Spanish Ladies or something like that.
All my pictures in the same place. Not a picture sold.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Marlowe. Let's get a look at your new one. Hold it up.
What good would it do to show it to you? You don't deserve to see it. You think we do any better on Fifth Avenue?
If there's more people there.
But what sort of people, Wiggy? What breed? I'll tell you. They're little people.
There's something off about this movie. And I think it's due to the lighting. Like they seem to be like doesn't seem to be like a real set or something, like they're not really outside or something. It has to do with the lighting, and it just makes it seem kind of unnatural as far as the light's concerned.
Mr. Marlowe, it's wonderful.
I could be completely wrong by that, and it could just be natural, right? But I don't think it is.
I don't understand your work. I think it's beautiful. So does Mrs. Rogers.
Oh, you talk about me?
Well,
She's the pretty woman with the little boy, isn't she?
I only brought up your name once when we were talking about strange people.
What now?
What does the pretty little thing say about me?
Nothing.
Because she doesn't know you.
You hear any shooting a while back?
No.
Well, I did. And there shouldn't be any shooting around here.
Why?
It's posted land, that's why.
What does posted land mean?
Bullets and guns are dangerous. They kill things.
Is it like a nature preserve or something like that?
I got a good mind to scout around and find out who's doing the shooting.
Well, if I can do anything to make it any harder for you, you let me know.
Where's Calvin?
Off somewhere's unimportant.
These marvelous pictures. Why don't you sell them? Make a lot of money.
Never thought of that.
And that song, you sing it so beautifully. You wrote it yourself, of course.
What do you want to borrow?
Yeah, I just think people need encouragement sometimes, don't you, Mr. Marlowe?
All I know is nobody buys them.
Thank you for your encouragement, Miss Gravely.
Bacon, beans, cabbage, sugar, salt, tea, oleo, margarine. $1.95.
Don't forget half a package of cigarettes.
Oh, yes, 10 cents, 2.5.
That much.
Wow. That's not expensive, dude. That compared to today, that's probably a lot then, but that's not a lot now. Or reverse that. It's a lot now, but probably not a lot then. Well, probably is a lot then. I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up. But you guys knew what I was trying to say, so.
Is it the right finger size?
It's my finger size.
What kind of question is that? I'm sorry, that's funny right there.
What's the finger size got to do with it?
I wanted to be certain it would fit a man, a certain size man.
A man?
Oh, coffee and blueberry muffins.
Why, you old social butterfly, you.
How old do you think I am, young man?
Don't answer that.
How old do you think you are?
42.
I'm afraid you're going to have to show more than your birth certificate to convince a man of that. I mean, you have to show your character, the inner self, the hidden qualities. The true Miss Gravely, sensitive, young in feeling, timeless with love and understanding. We're going to cut her hair. Cut it short. Bring it up to date. Make it nice.
It is already short. She doesn't have any hair going down to her shoulders.
I'll go out and get the scissors. You find the other things. Ah, here they are.
Excuse me, young man. Oh, well.
Sweet, that's a bench. So we can just slide over. That's kind of cool. I miss those. Just having a bench, and then you can just slide over. The feet from earlier? Yeah.
Would you mind getting out of my picture?
What's your idea? Because you started down the hill and then you came back right away.
Next thing you know, they were televising the whole thing.
You don't say.
This your body, little man?
Oh, don't turn me in. It was an accident. What I didn't know was that it was me.
Stands to reason they can't touch you for it.
Nothing these days stands to reason.
It was accidental, an act of God, perhaps. Suppose, for instance, it was written in the book of heaven that this man was to die at this particular time and at this particular place. Your conscience is quite clear. You got nothing to worry about.
Sammy, I haven't got a conscience.
I still don't think he actually killed him, though.
Lay him to rest. Put him under the sod. Forget him. I never did it, and you never saw him.
Yes, what about all those other people who saw him? How about the woman and the little boy? Miss Gravely and the tramp and the man who was reading the book, Dr. Greenbow. How about all of them?
Where does he know all those people? Because he only talked to a few of them, as far as I know. He didn't talk to everyone. That's all so far.
Suppose that woman who called him Harry. Suppose she decides she loves him after all.
She was downright hysterical with delight.
What was she like?
Pretty as a rainbow. What do you say we slip him underground now that you've finished drawing him?
I don't like it. The authorities like to know when people die. If you're not careful, you will get a murder charge lined up. Matter of fact, I begin to suspect something myself.
Well, there you are then, see? If you, an artist, suspect the worst, what are they, the police, going to think?
We'll find out how well Mrs. Rogers knows this man, and whether she intends to notify the police of his death. Doesn't intend to notify the authorities, and I personally will help you bury Harry.
And if she doesn't, or doesn't agree, or
I've got to go home and spruce up. I've got a date with Miss Gravely. She could do a lot worse, you know.
Couldn't do any better. Do you realize that you'll be the first man to, cross her threshold?
She's a well-preserved woman.
I must have missed it.
I envy you.
Yes, very well preserved. And preserves have to be opened someday.
Wow, they cut me off in the train of thought because I wanted to hear what he was gonna say.
Stumbling on melons? Oh, I beg your pardon. Stumbling on melons. I hope I never have to be operated on by Dr. Greenmo.
Ain't that the truth? If he's the actual doctor, which he is, but still, because he seems kind of clueless.
You're the most wonderful, beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'd like to paint you.
Was there something else you wanted, Mr. Marlowe, isn't it?
I'd like to paint you nude.
Some other time, Mr. Marlowe.
What do you got, a rabbit?
Dad, what have you got?
I got me a little frog. There he is.
It's hungry. It needs a mother.
I was gonna say about the rabbit. He hasn't dressed it yet.
I'll trade you rabbit for the frog.
It's yours, Arnie.
4 rabbits feet and he got killed. Say, how do rabbits get to be born?
Same way elephants do.
Oh, sure. How come you never came over to visit me before?
Didn't know you had such a pretty mother, Arnie.
I'm a little bit surprised he said the thing about the elephant thing.
Can I borrow your rabbit, Mr. Marlowe?
Sure, Arnie. What are you going to do with it?
You never know when a dead rabbit might come in handy. It already got me one frog.
Very true. Very, very true.
You know, Harry, the dead man.
Oh, him. That's my husband.
Harry is Arnie's father, then.
No, Arnie's father's dead.
So's Harry. Where'd Arnie get the rabbit?
He found it. I think Captain Wiles shot it.
You see, we don't know quite what to do with Harry. Thought you might have some suggestions.
You can stuff him for all I care.
What did he do to you? Besides marry you.
And possibly have the kid.
What was his name?
Robert. We'd agreed to overlook each other's families and everything and get married.
Did you?
Oh, yes. And then Robert got killed. Then I discovered little Arnie was on the way.
Okay, so
That's where Harry came in.
Ernie's not his, or Harry's not his father.
Robert's brother, his older brother.
And he fell in love with you?
He wanted to marry me because he was Robert's brother and felt noble. And I decided to let him love me because of Arnie. The truth about Harry.
Just what happened?
What happened? Well, yeah, what is it?
I was in the hotel room alone. I put on my best nightie.
Best nightie?
Although I had no true feeling for Harry, I had worked myself into a certain enthusiasm because I thought he loved me. There was a full moon, and I sat by the window because I thought it would show off my new nightie to advantage.
Naturally.
Sorry, she's doing the way she says it. Nightie. I don't think of nightie as lingerie, so I'd rather use the word lingerie than nightie, I guess is the point. Or kind of what's making me think it's funny.
When does Harry come in?
He doesn't. He never came in. He had bought a magazine. His horoscope was in it. It said, "Don't start any new project that day. It could never be finished."
And what did you do?
I left him on the spot and went home to Mother's. Well, suppose some night I wanted him to do something. Like the dishes, for example. His horoscope just wouldn't let him. As soon as Arnie was born, I moved away to where I thought Harry could never find me. This morning, there was a knock on the door. Before I opened it, I knew he was standing on the other side.
What did he want?
Me. He wanted me because I was his wife. He put it, he suddenly felt some basic urge. Loneliness.
What'd you feel?
I felt sick. I hit him over the head with a milk bottle and knocked him silly.
Silly?
That's tapping.
Yeah, it's not that hard. That one I get.
Have some more lemonade.
She seems awfully calm, and it seems she may not have murdered him, but it does seem like she could have had somebody do it, or she could have done it herself. And I've said this before in this movie, the people seem to not be all there. There's something to be not clicking in their brain. Like, everyone's not running on all 8 cylinders or something. I don't know what it is, but We just don't seem to be running it on all 8 cylinders.
It's a real cook to make a good blueberry muffin.
I picked them up near where you shot that unfortunate man.
A real handsome man's cup.
Mhm. It's been in the family for years.
At least he tried to change the subject.
I trust he died peacefully, slipped away in the night.
He was caught in a threshing machine.
A threshing machine? Don't know what that is.
Arnie, what are you carrying there?
A rabbit.
What do you call it?
Dead. It ain't mine.
Dead.
Yours. You shot it.
Where did you find it?
Out in the woods.
Let's get back to our little problem. Harry, let him slide off the end of your boat pier into the pond.
And have him pop up like a cork? No, sir.
Find something to his feet, like a brick or rocks or something. I should probably not be giving him ideas. Is he seriously digging the same pile that they are throwing the dirt into?
Gives me the creeps.
Would you like to say a few words, Captain?
That I would. Harry Walk, don't ever show your face around here again.
I think Calvin Wiggs is looking for something. You suppose he knows that Harry Walk came up here? That he wonders what happened to Harry or where he is?
Not for a while. I mean, he's like on vacation or something because he's just visiting, you know.
Jennifer, eh? Didn't waste much time, did you? I've got affairs of my own.
You mean my protege, Miss Gravely? The lady that I renovated down at Mrs. Wiggs this afternoon. Most remarkable reversion to femininity.
I don't understand what he means by that.
I don't know whether I've grown rose-colored glasses or if I...
Or, if you're in love?
There's nothing like finding yourself in love. After all, I brought her a happy release with one bullet. One bullet for the no shooting sign, one for the beer can, and one for Harry.
How about the rabbit?
And one for the rat.
That would be 4 bullets right there.
I only fired 3 bullets. 3. One for the shooting sign, one for the beer can, and...
One for the little man who's lying in the grave.
No, Sammy, no, that's just it. One for the rabbit.
So now we gotta dig him back up to find out if he's got a bullet in him or not.
Besides, whether you killed him or not, you've incriminated yourself. You have much more of a job explaining away a body that you didn't kill and buried than a body that you killed accidentally and buried. You're not supposed to bury bodies whenever you find them. It makes people suspicious. You're supposed to tell the police or advertise or something.
I don't care if I killed him or not, for all that matters. But I'll get the shakes whenever I see a policeman, and there's no good saying I won't.
If I had my choice, I'd rather be thought a murderer than proved one.
I think I might want to be thought as one instead of proven as one.
That isn't a bullet wound.
Isn't a bullet wound?
That's what they call a blow with a blunt instrument.
Oh yeah, you did have that head trauma, but that head trauma, there wasn't much of it though.
Suppose it was Mrs. Gravely.
Oh,
No. It's not as funny as all that. You said yourself she wasn't particularly startled to see you dragging Harry up the path.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
If I hadn't been holding Harry by the ankles, I don't suppose she'd have mentioned him at all.
Really?
Now, when she said, what seems to be the trouble, Captain? It was nothing more than a pleasantry, so to speak.
Going to help me bury him again?
No, not really. Well, I would still want to know how this is gonna play out, so something else has to happen. So he's gonna come back to haunt them or something. As far as that goes. And I don't mean as a ghost, I just mean, you know, as questions arise about Harry. What is that? I don't want to say it's a statue.
I should like to offer you some explanation of my sudden invitation.
No, ma'am, you don't have to explain anything. You came to my aid at a moment of crisis. You saw the predicament I was in with that body on my hands and all, and you shut your eyes to it.
She must have something to do with it.
I'm grateful to you for burying my body.
Her body? Oh.
Was the man I hit over the head with the leather heel of my hiking shoe.
Okay. I took that a different way, as in he came back as another form in that sort of way.
When he suddenly came at me with a wild look in his eye and insisted we were married.
He must have mistaken you for someone else.
He swore at me, horrible, masculine sounds. My shoe had come off in the struggle, and I hit him.
You killed him. Seems to me Mrs. Rogers knocked him silly and you finished him off. She was really his wife.
Poor woman. I thought she had better taste. How convenient it was that you should think that you had shot him. You must forgive me for thinking that.
Only natural.
You to go through life knowing that you had buried a man you didn't kill would have my crime on your conscience.
It's a pleasure.
There's no reason we shouldn't let the authorities know about it.
The authorities, they love it. The papers, this kind of thing. Murder and passion.
Yep.
After all, I killed him, so it's only fair that I should have the say-so.
Yes, but...
Don't you agree?
Well, in a way...
I thought you would.
This is bad. Bad. This is not very good for him or anybody that's involved in this.
I killed Harry Warp with the leather heel of my hiking shoe.
So it was you.
We're on our way to get Calvin Wiggs and have him call the state police.
I keep telling her there's no need.
Now, you haven't dug him up again.
Well, I...
What was that about?
You know all about Harry?
Well, I'm afraid I do, Mrs. Rogers, and after all, nobody could possibly gossip about a lady and a maniac.
You'd be surprised.
What makes you think my private life is indecent?
I didn't mean that. I meant that where they pry is indecent. They'll hound you to death. There'll be newspapermen and photographers and detectives.
I've made up my mind.
Frankly, I don't care what you do with Harry, just as long as you don't bring him back to life.
You realize if this thing comes out that all the details of your marriage will be public property?
That is true, though.
I'm afraid I'm causing you rather a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we gotta bury this man and then dig him up, then bury him again and dig him up?
Let's get it over with. Yes.
I like the way you deliver that line.
How about a little service?
I can't think of anything to say.
Too late to say prayers. Besides, wherever he was going, he's there now.
Are you sure about that? I mean, how many times are you gonna dig the guy up and bury him again?
He's a millionaire.
Who?
He wants to buy your pictures, Mr. Marlowe. He says you're a genius.
Well, he's right, but it's still hard to believe he wants to buy all my
Right.
pictures.
Art critic for the Modern Museum, he
Don't
says...
think I'm rude, but it doesn't matter to me what an art critic says. And he doesn't want them, you do. So all that matters is what you think.
Well, I think they're works of genius, and I want to buy them all.
What do you say?
It's your genius, Sam. It's up to you.
What do you like most in the whole world?
Strawberries, I guess.
2 boxes of fresh strawberries, first of each month, in season and out of season, from now on.
One smelly chemical set.
Wiggy, what would you like?
Oh, he's gonna do it for the entire town.
Cash register.
Chromium-plated, one that rings a bell.
A hope chest. Filled with the things I should have put in it and didn't.
I don't understand what a hope chest is for, but I would just kind of assume that it's jewelry box, but I don't actually know what it's for.
Yes, but what about you?
That's it.
What's it?
Yes, I think that can be easily arranged.
Wonder what he said.
I'll come back in the morning for all these paintings.
I hope we find out.
Did I do the right thing?
You did just the right thing, Sam.
Good, because I love you. I want to marry you.
That's kind of
Because I just got my freedom today.
that's kind of fast.
Easy come, easy go. Besides, if you married me, you'd keep your freedom. I respect freedom. More than that, I love freedom. And we might be the only free married couple in the world.
This is very sudden, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, you just met her like a day ago, a day and a half ago, maybe.
I'll give you until we get back to your house.
I found these on a tramp hanging around here. Said he found them on a dead man. Montpelier, 2000.
Well, that's the state police number.
Uh-oh. Let's hope he doesn't put 2 and 2 together, which it seems like he's going to.
Just that it matches the description. Well, hello, Sergeant.
Him walking in with with Harry Warp's shoes in his hand, and then that phone call to the police.
I may be wrong, but I don't think he's tied us into it yet.
He might have.
I've decided, Sam. I will marry you. I think you'd make a good father for Arnie.
You got yourself a husband.
Lightly, Sam. I have a very short fuse.
I don't know what I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
What did you ask a millionaire for? That's very practical.
Before we can get married, you're going to have to prove that you're free. To prove that you're free, you'll have to prove that Harry...
He's dead.
Exactly.
But a horrible complication.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know that it is.
Sammy, I'll do anything to help you, but please don't ask me to dig up Harry again.
Murder is murder, no matter how exonerating the circumstances, and it just wouldn't look nice at all for you.
You wouldn't have to wait 7 years to presume death anyway.
Now I know what I'm waiting for.
I'll dig him up.
again.
We'd better get it done before Calvin Wiggs gets the state police snooping around here.
Kind of already late for that, I think, because they're on the way. They kind of...
I can think of at least 2 people around here with a good reason for having killed Harry. First you because you married him. And now Sam.
But I didn't fall in love with Jennifer until after Harry was dead.
Try telling that to the police.
We'll have to think up a reason why the police weren't informed.
We can't risk complicating Miss Gravely's confession.
And as for the delay, I can explain that I was so upset by the occurrence that I went straight home and rested.
Only natural.
I think he met with a bit of an accident, Dr. Greenbaugh.
What happened to him?
Well,
Well, that's what we'd like to know, Doctor. Could you tell us what caused his death? It was so sudden. We could take him someplace where you could see better.
I'll take Harry home to my house.
Is your son there? I wouldn't want to traumatize Arlo. I think this takes place in like the span of 24 hours, honestly. So they dug up like they dug up him like 4 times and buried him like 4 times or whatever. Oh, I just noticed the socks on the wall there. I thought that's kind of cool. I just noticed it. It took me half a second. There's that door again.
It's only a closet door.
Oh, I thought it was Harry.
Where were you today, Sam?
Working as usual.
Somewhere's down by Mansfield Meadows.
Possibly. I do quite a bit of sketching around. Why?
Where you painted this?
I left that portrait with your mother.
Where'd you paint it and who is it?
First of all, it's not a painting, it's a drawing. Matter of fact, it's a pastel.
There you
And
go.
as for the model, just came to me out of the blue.
You don't say. That tramp picked up, the one with the stolen shoes, said he got him off a dead man. Well, he described him very carefully. The description fits this picture to a T.
Well, a tramp who probably can't keep his job and drinks too much, I wouldn't think his word was very reliable.
Okay. So, there's something to be said for tramp because I've always kind of associated it with a woman instead of a guy. I guess times have changed and the definitions have changed just a little bit. I think it's very important for me to understand in terms of what they're actually using it for.
I don't have to have a model to draw from. Instead of creating a sleeping face, I could have chosen an entirely different set of artistic stimuli. And the construction of the human anatomy alone is so infinitely variable. It's to lie beyond the wildest powers of calculation.
Our faces are kind of asymmetrical and stuff like that, so it makes sense in an artistic way.
You just destroyed legal evidence.
Calvin, it appears to me you still don't understand.
But I still got enough evidence to know something funny's going on around here. I ain't going to sleep till I find out what it is.
What's he doing in our bathtub?
Uh-oh.
That's where frogs belong.
Oh. He's in the bathroom playing with his frog. It's Arnie. He's not very well.
You're no prospective customer. You can't afford this car.
That was good of him to actually do that, though, all things considered.
Calvin Wiggs's car. I figured you were handling half the evidence, Sammy, and so it was up to me to take care of the rest.
You're the sweetest little tugboat captain I ever kissed.
What'd you find out, Doctor?
Oh, that. It was his heart. He had a seizure.
His heart.
Yes.
A seizure.
Well, I'll take a trip to the Philippines.
Will somebody tell me what he's doing in the bathtub half undressed?
Half undressed. As far as I know, the only thing
He
that took you
awful
was
dirty
his
after we
shoes.
dug him up.
Dug him up.
I'd better explain, Doctor. You see, well, he upset Captain Wiles because the captain thought he had shot him. The hole in the head, you know. But as it turned out, it wasn't the captain. It was the blow he got from the heel of Miss Gravely's shoe after he attacked her. He dragged her into the bushes thinking it was me. He was dazed, I suppose, after I hit him on the head with the milk bottle.
But why did you...
Hit him on the head? That wouldn't interest you, Doctor. It's purely personal and non-medical.
Put him back, that's all. Just put him back. This is the first nightmare I've had in 25 years.
He's kind of strange, isn't he?
I would say y'all are strange.
Go on, Arnie. Run home and tell me about it.
Don't touch him.
Please, Arnie, run home and tell your mother.
Beat it, you little creep. I mean, hurry home, son.
Sam, what did you ask the millionaire to bring you?
And we still don't know.
A double bed.
A double bed. The trouble with Harry is over. Interesting. I like that. The trouble with Harry is over. Paramount originally, I believe, distributed it, and then Universal did it. Brought us kind of the remastered version, even though it doesn't say remastered. But you know what I'm saying. It just got put in the hands of Universal. If I am understanding that correctly, like they own the rights to it, so they kind of remastered it and did its own thing. All right, guys. Well, that's the trouble with Harry, and I gotta say that I liked it, but I don't think it's one of his better films. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I like it, but there's something off to me about it. It's just I know I talked about the characters being off, and we learned why they're off and why they're okay with seeing basically Harry as a dead person, because almost everyone has a role to play in his death, even though they didn't cause his death, So it, I kind of forgive that as far, not forgive, but I know that it was actually part of the, story and the way that they were acting and stuff like that as far as their reaction to his death. But I just, for some reason, there was something still off about it. And, I had mentioned the lighting. I think this whole thing was shot on a stage, and you could clearly see that it was, except for maybe the establishing shots or the wide shots of stuff when they would kind of transition to the next scene, so to speak. I feel like those, when you're just looking at like the countryside and kind of just the overall location, I feel like those were, actual shots in nature, but I could be completely wrong about that. But I do have, there was still that feeling that this whole thing was shot on a stage and um stuff like that. The other thing too, to me, they kind of messed up the lighting was everyone looks like they just looked orange to me. orange. Some people like that um, skin tone, but it just looks to me, it kind of just looks goopy and stuff. And if you like that, that's fine and stuff like that. But to me, it's just like too orange, and it's like I don't know if that just kind of looks weird. In that sense, I really do get the Clue aspect of this. It feels like Clue. If you guys have ever played Clue, which I'm pretty sure you have, um, it was in what room was he murdered in, who done it, and with what. Which the two are very, very strong. Um, in that category as far as this film goes. First we had uh Roberts, or am I saying her last name right? The one that he was married to originally. Can't think of her name right now, but I think her last name was Roberts. Which is funny because I just watched the film, but it escapes me. Anyway, she hit him over the head with the milk bottle, and then he staggered off, and stuff like that. Then we had Miss Gravely, who had hit him in the head with a shoe at a different location, and so it just felt like a game of Clue and stuff like that. And there's other people. I'm just simplifying things. So there is that aspect of it, which is kind of fun the first time around, but if you watch it a second time, all the mystery is kind of taken out of it. So to speak, and scripting, the acting, and stuff like that. I really enjoyed. Everyone played their parts believably, and you know, thought of things that I might have not have thought of, but it's it was kind of fun and interesting to see why they would bury, dig up Harry and plant him again, and dig him up and plant him again about 4 different times. So that was kind of interesting, and I'm surprised that this took place in 24 hours. The movie that is takes place in like 24 hours. You typically don't see that a whole lot, which is kind of interesting in itself. But I do wonder if it's actually possible if you could actually do that, though. If you could actually, uh, pick somebody up or dig somebody up 4 times in a day and rebury them 4 times in a day. It's just kind of interesting to think about. Um, and the reasons why they did it, 4 times, it's completely possible that they could do that, even though some of them they didn't even have to do. Like the reasons why they didn't even have to dig him up. They just needed it for somebody's confirmation that they didn't kill him, or they need um well, they needed to prove that he was married, so that would be one of them, like a actual legitimate reason. And then um and then um Miss Gravely's shoe and all this stuff. So it's it was very entertaining the first time. Now, as to the question that they asked at the end, right when he sold his paintings to the millionaire, they asked about he asked him what he wanted for those paintings, and I would have not have guessed that, even though I probably should have. But he basically asked for a double bed. I don't know what I was thinking when he asked him, because I just didn't really have a thought of what he could possibly ask for. Um, the all the clues are kind of there because he's kind of got a one-track mind um when it comes to um the widow and stuff like that. So it was very easy and stuff, but I find that it was kind of funny, and kind of is funny that he asked for a double bed. And the reason why that is because back in the 50s, it was very uncommon to have double beds, I think, as far as, um, men and women actually sleeping together in the same bed. They might be sleeping in the same room, but in separate beds. But there was a time, and probably still is for older generations, where you guys have, you know, uh, separate beds or even separate bedrooms, which is probably more likely the case. Um, now, because I know some people still practice that. Um, and it's just how things are. I think, my grandparents, um, I remember asking them one time, you know, you guys have separate bedrooms, or I've heard them discuss it, when I was over at their house, uh, about, oh, it's in my bedroom. Oh no, it's in my bedroom. And these people were actually married, and they had been married for, uh, I don't know, probably 60 to, anywhere from like 5 to 60 years or something like that. Just a different time and, different time, different culture, different expectations, that sort of thing. Overall, I like the film. It's just that the set design and sort of people's reactions still to it, the way that everyone seems to have orange skin, or due to the lighting, everyone seems to have orange skin. It's just one of those things where it's more problems with the film to me are more technical than the actual execution of it, as far as that go. It doesn't feel like they're actually there live on location. My thoughts and my opinion, and again, it's just my opinion on the film. I believe that this film has been nominated for several awards and stuff like that. But to me, I just didn't enjoy it as much as his other ones. So this one is really just kind of a mixed bag to me. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's his worst one, but it's his worst one probably for me. If I think about all the movies that we've done of his on the channel, even though some of these shots are really beautiful as far as um, what they're able to get as far as that goes. I really like the shot of the thumbnail, which is going to be the thumbnail for this. I really like the shot of Arnie standing over the body with his plastic toy gun. I thought that was really good. I really like that shot, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't connect with it in a way that I'm I would expect, or probably in the way that you guys were expecting me to, and it's just really weird. It's the first one that I really just thought was okay, but it wasn't great, if I can say that. I'm kind of curious to see what your reaction is to me having a mixed bag on basically a Hitchcock film, because most of his films I actually like, and I actually do watch a couple that I've already watched with you guys on the channel here now and then. So this one is probably not going to be one that I watch again. But I'm kind of interested to hear your thoughts about my thoughts on this movie in particular. Even so, uh, fire away with those thoughts. As far as that is concerned, do let me know if you guys want me to cover any more of his films, or what I should cover next of his films. Any other um franchises you want me to try to get into and stuff like that. But with that, guys, that's all that I have for you in this video. So I will see you next time. Do consider commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you, guys.